Hello, hello. What's up, Casey? First this time. Woo! Good job. What's up, Benjamin? How's it going? Hey, Losh. Third. Sad cat face. What's up, Wing Chun? How's it going? Hey, Sunnyside. Hope my family's okay. My family's all dead. They're all dead. Just kidding. What's up, Rude Noise? How's it going? Yeah, sorry for not having a stream last week. Did have an emergency. It was with my dad. Did not involve any possums. You guess? Oh, Casey. Well, that's kind of a good guess. How'd you guess it was with my dad? You guess he had an internal energy deviation? Deviation? And I had to channel my energy for 3 days. Very close. My dad cut his hand. What's up, Malik? So he was like in the backyard and he was like he stumbled and he kind of fell and he like he tried to use his hand to stop his fall, but then there was like a metal thing sticking up. Okay. And his hand got caught in it. So like this part. Yeah. And it cut pretty deeply into his hand. Yeah. What's crazy is that he was wearing like leather gloves, okay? The gloves did not get cut. Okay? Yeah, so he thought he was okay. But then when he pulled out his gloves, it was like freaking bleeding everywhere. Yeah. So, yeah. I saw the cut afterwards. It was like almost a centimeter deep, and it was like a big old gash. Yeah, it was really bad. Yeah, the thing is, when that happened, my mom called me, and she's like, "Hey, you gotta come over. You gotta take him to the hospital." Yeah, unfortunately, I was like downtown at the time, so it was like I was like 15 minutes away. So I was like, "Ah, fuck," and I had to like rush over to my parents' house. Tetanus shots, yeah. We'll get to that. So I rushed over. I thought it was like really bad, like he was like bleeding out. But he wasn't. Okay, if he wasn't, they would have called the ambulance. But yeah, they covered it and put pressure on it, so it wasn't bleeding that much when I got there. So I got there and I drove him to the hospital. Yeah, we checked his tetanus shots. Okay, he had a tetanus shot like 9 years ago. You're supposed to get one every 10 years. So, yeah, it was 9 years. We're getting close, getting close. So we got to the hospital, and it was hella full. Okay, we got into the waiting room, and the waiting room was just packed. There was almost no seating. We found like two remaining seats that we sat in, but yeah, it was hella packed. So we had to wait for a little bit, but when we finally got in, yeah, the doctor was asked if he got his tetanus shot or when he got it. And he's like, yeah, let's just make sure. So we'll give him another tetanus shot. And they it's pretty efficient. They took us into a little room. They cleaned up his wound. That was when I saw it. It looked pretty bad. Yeah, and the nurse was like, yeah, okay, the doctor will be over in a little bit, and she leaves, and we had to wait so long. It was like super busy at the hospital, and when the doctor finally came, yeah, I asked him about it. He's like, yeah, You know, Mondays are pretty bad for us, a lot of people. And then it's also the day after Mother's Day. Okay. They started working on my dad. And I was like, wait, what does that mean? I don't get it. He said it very matter of factly, like, yeah, of course, it's the day after Mother's Day, and we're gonna have a lot of people getting injured. I don't know. I didn't ask too much because I didn't want to bother him. Yeah, he actually came in, and then he was gonna give my dad some anesthetic. He already got the needle ready, and the nurse came in, and she's like, "Oh, you gotta come out." Then he put the needle back in, and he ran out. Yeah, for like half an hour or some shit. Then he finally came back in and stitched up. He was pretty good. He was pretty efficient. Like he was using like a thing. It's not a. It looks like a pair of scissors, but it's just a thing to hold the needle and thread. Yeah, and he was like. So in the end, he gave my dad 9 stitches. 9 stitches. And some antibiotics. So yeah, it was cool. It was fine. Everything was okay. He did not lose his hand. It's annoying when everyone else gets injured as well as you. I was waiting in the waiting room, and I was looking at other people. And I was like, we should be. I was like, that guy doesn't look that injured. She doesn't look that injured. She doesn't look that bad. She looks okay. We should be at the front of the line. What the hell? Why don't they call us first? Why are they calling other people first? Chocolate-induced tummy aches? Is that why? I see. Don't mess with angry mothers who didn't feel appreciated. Yeah. I'm gonna attack you with their pans. People trying to cook beyond their means on Mother's Day. Maybe they just wait. It's Mother's Day and they get into an accident or something, but they're like, oh, it's Mother's Day. I gotta spend time with mom. And then I'll go to the emergency room the next day. But yeah, all in all, it was all right. Did not see any cute nurses, unfortunately. The doctor looked okay, but who's kind of older. I'm concussed, but it's Mother's Day. Exactly. What's up, Psyduck? How's it going? Or maybe like your mom makes some food, but then it gets you sick, but you want to be rude. So you just wait until the next day and you're like, must be something I made in the morning for breakfast. All right. Wordle. How am I going to do? What do you think? 2 minutes? All right. Okay. Maybe we got pitch. Sounds about right. Oh my god. Oh my god. It must be the week after Mother's Day. That's why. So good. You're convinced that maybe the possum is setting up counter traps? Oh, you think so? Oh shit. I gotta watch out. And be careful walking around my house. All right. Melon, ball, chance, bowl. Soul, blubber, function, fluke. Utility, toe, avenue, benefit, flipper, railroad, gala, heel. Hmm. Ball. Ball means cry, right? Blubber? Oh, like you're blubbering, you're bawling. You're nope, that's it. Railroad. Maybe you're like railroading someone out of here. Railroad someone out. Tow something out. Heel, function, ball. Utility? No. You have some function or some utility, some benefit. Fuck. Some avenue. Avenue? No. Utility, function, benefit. This has got to be it. Ball? Chance? Soul, flipper, not flipper. Railroad, gala, heel. Fluke? It's a fluke? No. What? Utility, function, benefit. A chance? A ball. Have a ball. You have some kind of utility, some kind of purpose. Melon. Ball? Some kind of type of avenue? Avenue? I feel like it's not. Oof. Well, what is it? Benefit? Flipper? Benefit. Fluke. It's some kind of fluke. Some kind of chance. Some kind of melon. An avenue? An avenue? No. Oh no. I'm not seeing anything. Soul. Soul. Heel. Benefit? A heel? Oh. Ball. Chance. Strike. A gala. The Met Gala. A gala. A ball? A benefit? A charity benefit? What? A gala, a ball, a blubber, chance. A function? Oh, a function. I guess then a benefit, right? A benefit? Whew. Okay. Okay. I got something. Because the function utility was not it. Good thing I didn't guess that. Soul blubber. Why blubber? Blubber, fat. Blubbering. Bowling. Bowl. Towing? Is there another word for crying that I don't know about? Melaning? Fluking. Chancing. Healing. Avenuing. No. Flipper. Flipper was the dolphin. Flipper. Bowl. Railroad. Monopoly has a railroad and a avenue. Has some avenues. Utility. Chance. Oh! Okay. That was green? Okay. I guess everyone knows this. That's supposed to be the easy one. Melon. Fluke. A toe. A flipper. A melon. blubber. A soul food. Toe food. Heel food. No. A soul, a spirit. You got soul. A melon. You got melon. Flipper. Flipper. Toe. Soul. Toe. Blubber. Heel. I don't get it. I don't get it. Soul. Flipper. Blubber. Flip. Blub. Melon. What? Heal. Healing. Heal. Hell. Heal. Ball. Is the W silent? Ball. Heel. Toe. Flipper. Fluke. Luke. Fluke. Fook. Soul. Heel. Ball. Melon. Soul. Is the U silent? No, it's the soul, right? Heel. Oh wait, soul? I think I'm being dumb here. Ball? W silent, right? No? No. That's stupid. Toe. Melon. Oh no, I'm just gonna guess. I don't know. Flipper, fluke, blubber, flipper, blubber, melon. What? I'm so smart. Oh my god. Gigantic brained. Okay. Obviously, I know blubber and flipper and the fluke of a whale. Obviously, the fluke of a whale and the melon of a whale. Yeah, absolutely. It's very clear. I don't know if you guys know. Soul, heel, soul. Wait. Homophones of parts of the foot. Oh. But you got the ball right here. Ball, heel, sole, toe. Gotcha. Oof. Huh. Okay. The fluke. I guess the fluke is the tooth. All right. Fluke of a whale. I already know what it is. I'm just showing you guys. Yeah, obviously the fluke is this part of the whale. The tail. Yeah. Yeah. So this is like the left fluke. This is the right fluke. And then the melon of a whale. Do you guys know what a melon is of a whale? It's the weird head thing on the whale. Yeah, it's this thing right here. Why is it called the melon? Because I believe they store melons up in there for like a midnight snack when they like go on a long vacation or on a long trip or whatever. So they have food to eat. All right. Okay. This should be quick, right? Let's do it. The tastiest part of the whale. Yeah, it's very sweet. The rest of the whale is like it's a lot of fat and savory, but the melon is quite sweet. All right. Let's do this. Whale, sweet, melon, fruit, winter, water, swim, delicious, run, jump, mineral. You're doing the mineral, animal, vegetable. Should we do that? Is that a good strategy? Animal, horse, dog, cat, frog. No. Monitor. Light. Shelf. Wall. House. House. Animal, eh? How about fish? Train. Human. Whoa! Woman. Mammal. Man. Human species? How about ape? Monkey? Bonobos? Bonobos? Bonobo? Farm. A farm human. Person. Inhabitant. Gorilla? DNA? Peacock. Market. Okay. Human, eh? Human's pretty high up there. Maybe a bird? Maybe a being? An alien? Bigfoot? Doctor? Compassion. Wow. Human. Sapiens. Homo sapiens. Biped? Witch. Human, eh? Hand. Grab. Error. Android. Robot. Monkey we tried. Key. Race. Human race. I like that. Body. Human face. Head? Maybe like a part of the body. Chest. No. Nose. Come on. Consciousness. Cyborg. Machine. Brain. Oh, brain. Soul. Chemistry. Brain stem. Maybe the hippocampus. That is not a word. Hippocampus. Will. Mind. Body. What? Lobe. Frontal. Organ. Thought. Nervous, like the nervous system. Human brain interface. Intelligence. Smart. Skull. Cranium. Human brain. Neurons. Neuron. Consciousness we tried. Blood. Self. Aware. AI. Artificial. Skeleton. Identity. I like that. Process. Biology. Autopsy. What? Awareness. Brain. Mind. Eyes. Eye. Brain. Knowledge. Scope. Awareness. Knowing. No. Relationship. How about emotion? Thoughts and feelings. Thought. Try that. Just had a bio test. Oh, how'd you do? Biology. Sight. Sound. Senses. Homunculus. Not a word. How do you spell homunculus? Homunculus. Gene. Cerebral. Oh, wait a minute. Cortex. Bending, like mind bending. Limbs. Mind bending. Mind bending. Abstract. Cerebral. Requires a lot of thought. Lobe. Psychology. Modern. Art. Painting. Cerebral cortex. Really conscience. That's how you spell hippocampus. Hippocampus. Hippopotamus. Nope. Cerebral thinking. Temporal. Brainiac. Brain things. What other brain things are there? Cerebral? Mad. Anger. Physiology. Okay. Exercise. Logic. Exercise. Health. Oh, okay. Corpse. Dead. Life. Alive. Healthy. A healthy brain. A healthy mind. Good. Test. Motivation. Sanity. Motivate. Happiness. Content. Well, is that a word? Okay. Impetus. Sanity. Insane. Wait. Insane. Anatomy. I thought you had it. Cognition. Disease. Like a disorder. Neurology. Teach. Cerebral, brain, human, healthy, disease, sick. Dissection. Brain. Healthy, human, brain, baby, genes, pregnancy, like a healthy baby. Healthy, cognition, memory, remember, recall. Neurochemistry. Okay. Articulation. Movement. Motor. Like the motor cortex. Brain. Cerebral. Human. Healthy. Cognition. Reproduction. Health. Heart. Exercise. Running. We tried running, right? Exercise. Like mental exercises? Oh! Mental state. Ment. It's another word for mental, guys. Mentality. Mental. Mind things. Organ. Let me try that. Mindset. Ooh. Mindfulness. Mindful. Paradigm. Mental. Metaphysical. Wow. Metaphysics. Getting philosophical over here. Philosophical. Psychology. I think we try that. Spiritual. Psychological. Psychological. Psychologic. Psychological. Mental. Cerebral. Spiritual. Brainial. Idea. Physical. Oh! Mental, physical. Good job, Casey. Very close. Wow, mental is right next to physical. Makes sense. Just didn't think about it. Behavior. About 10 minutes? Hell yeah. I mean, it's alright. Okay. Good job. And now we get to eat. Ho, 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 ho. Okay. So what do we have here today, guys? Huh. What is this? What is that? It looks like... I don't know what it looks like. What is it? I must know this. Must be something. This is Druko. Something Druko. Hiruko. Mo? Oh, Mo. Moruko. What is Moruko? Alright. Looks like some crackers. Some sweet crackers, I would say. They don't look salty to me. Come on. Oh, that means grapefruit? Okay. Ooh. Mmm. Oh. I guess it is pomelo. Very citrusy. I like that. Okay. That's pretty good. Yeah. It's not, it is sweet, but there's a very nice citrusy flavor to it. A little citrusy kick. Mmm. Okay. The citrus is pretty good. The rest is just like a sweet cracker. So it's like a 6.5, I would say. 6.5. All right. What is this? Mmm. What does that dude up there? Let me see. It says sa. Something. Sa something. Okay. Whatever that means. Can you see the katakana? Saradu. Saradu. Beaver son. Oh, you want to see the previous snack? Okay. That one. All right. Let's see what beavers taste like. The kanji means salt. So this must be salty. Salty beavers. Oh, what is it? Oh, a little greenish. Mm. Oh. Okay. Oh, it's another rice cracker. No. There's some kind of salty taste. I guess it's seaweed. Kind of like it. A little bit. But more rice crackers? They have too many rice crackers. This is better than the previous one. I'm gonna give it a 6.8. It's all right. It's okay. It's okay, you know? It's passing. All right, now this one. This one. This one. I have no idea what's inside. It's like... It's something soft. Feels like soft leather or something. Very interesting. What does this say? I have no idea. What is this? What is that? No, this is This is fu. No, wait. This is... What's fu with the thing? Fu? Do? Fu? No. Fu... Gu. Fu gu? No. Oh, it's ko? How's that ko? Jesus Christ. Kon... Bu. Bu? Fu bu. Konbu. Konbu? What's konbu? Alright, hold on. Oh. Oh, those little strips. Yay. It's super sour. Has a little bit of sugar. I guess it's all right. It's just sour. A little bit of sugary, a lot of sour. It's all right. All right. 6.6. All right, 6.6. Okay, well, a lot of 6-pointers today. But that's all right. Okay. You guys ready? All right. So what happened? Hold on. Let me clean up my... What happened last week? What happened 2 weeks ago? No, what happened last week? I did a stream last week. Well, I didn't do a stream, but I talked without the stream. Okay. I just didn't turn on the stream. I did a secret stream all to myself. And this is what happened. Last week made that cut his hand. So after saving Huang Rong's life, the Master Yidong, okay, that's the Southern Emperor, if you remember, he collapses. And Huang Rong gives him her 9-flower jade dew pills. But after Master Yidong drinks it, he recognizes that it's poison. And Huang Rong realizes that Yinggu had swapped her real pills for poison ones. Now, Master Yidong says it's okay, his martial brother will cure him of the poison. And then Hong Rong and Go Jing, they go off to another room to rest. And while they're resting, Master Yidong's 4 disciples barge in and they fight a little bit. But after a while, they reveal the truth. That is, when Master Yidong heals someone like that, he loses all his martial arts for 5 years. Okay, then he has to, in the meantime, keep cultivating his chi to recover. And if he doesn't recover, then if he doesn't keep cultivating his chi, then he might lose all of his martial arts, or he may even die. Okay, that's why the disciples did not like that he's healing Hong Rong. So then we get to hear some backstory. Apparently, after the famous Huashan tournament, Wang Xiangyang of the Chen sect, he visited the Southern Emperor to exchange martial arts techniques. So exchange the emperor's Yi Yang finger for Wang Xiangyang's is the Xian Tian Gong technique. So he can counter Ouyang Feng. And because of this, Ouyang Feng has been trying to kill Master Yidong for a long time. He even hurt one of the disciples to force Master Yidong to heal him. But after, yeah. So after we find out about this, we find out that someone has sent a jade bracelet to Master Yidong. Master Yidong summons them in, and he starts to tell his story while holding this jade bracelet. We're not sure what it is, what it's all about. So he starts telling his story. It includes how he met Zhou Botong when Wang Xiangyang had visited. Apparently, Zhou Botong liked to visit the emperor's harem, because who wouldn't? Apparently there was a big incident during that visit that we don't know about. That's where we left off. How's that? No hiragana today? Oh yeah, I forgot. Forget it. How much do I still remember? Not much. I think I remember the basic ones. But the Dakuten ones, I think I need to brush up on that. All right. A, I, U, E, O. Okay, stop. All right. Chapter 31. The Brocade Handkerchief of Mandarin Ducks. Okay. Mandarin ducks are the birds of love, right? Those sexy, sexy birds. Mandarin duck blades. These are Mandarin duck handkerchiefs. Okay, so Master Yidong is telling his story. Master Yidong let out a low sigh and said, "Hey, the true root of the disaster lay in myself. Though I, a minor sovereign of Dali, was not like the son of heaven of China, with his 3,000 palace concubines, the number of consorts and concubines in my harem was still considerable. Oh. Ah, that was truly sinful. I've always loved martial arts and rarely spent time with women. Sometimes even days would pass without seeing my empress, let alone the rest of the palace women. But what did that amount to in the end? Mandarin ducks are polygamous. Ah, those dirty cheaters. At this, he turned to his 4 disciples and said, "The full story behind this you 4 never knew. It's time I told you everything." The male would mate with as many female ducks as possible during mating season? Okay. Hongrong thought, so they truly didn't know. At least they weren't lying to me. Master Yirang continued, seeing that I constantly practice martial arts, some of my concubines thought it amusing and pestered me to teach them. I casually guided them in a few exercises for fitness and longevity. Among them was a consort Liu, who was especially gifted. She picked things up instantly and progressed rapidly. She was young, diligent, and practiced daily. Her martial skills improved fast. It was fate, perhaps, that brought trouble. One day she was practicing in the garden when Brother Zhou Tong stumbled upon her. Consort Liu, eh? Is that Yinggu? The Mandarin ducks are all Duan Zhengchun. That Brother Zhou is obsessed with martial arts, and is as innocent as a child. Knowing nothing of propriety between men and women, he saw Consort Liu's moves and eagerly stepped forward to spar with her. He was taught directly by his elder brother, Master Wang Chongyang. How could Consort Liu be his match? Hongrong whispered, oh no, he must have hurt her, not knowing how to hold back. Master Yidang said, he didn't hurt her. In a few moves, he had her immobilized with pressure point strikes, and then asked her whether she accepted defeat. Naturally, she did. He proudly unsealed her acupoints and began lecturing excitedly about the subtleties of pressure point techniques. Consort Liu had long been asking me to teach her this skill, but how could I pass down such an advanced martial art to palace women? When Zhou Tong began explaining, it matched her interests perfectly. She humbly asked to be taught. Hongrong laughed. That old urchin must have been thrilled. Master Yidang asked, you know, Brother Zhou? Hongrong smiled. We're old friends. He lived on Peach Blossom Island for over 10 years, never leaving once. Master Yidang was surprised. With that temperament, how did he sit still so long? Hongrong giggled. My father locked him up. He's only just been let out. Master Yidang nodded. Ah, that makes sense. And his health? Hongrong replied, he's healthy, but growing crazier with age. She pointed to Guo Jing and grinned. He even became sworn brothers with this fellow. Master Yidang couldn't help but chuckle. Then he continued, the skill of striking pressure points. Unless between father and daughter, mother and son, or husband and wife, is never passed from man to woman, or vice versa. Why not? Hongrong asked. Because it requires touching and pressing all the acupoints on the body. How can that be proper? Oh, is that how martial artists flirt? Hey, you want me to teach you some acupoint techniques? Hongrong countered. But didn't you press all the acupoints on my body? Oh. Master Yidang. The fisherman and the farmer scowled at her constant interruptions. She rolled her eyes at them and said, what? I can't ask? Master Yidang smiled. You may ask. You're a young girl, and it was a life or death matter. Different circumstances. Hongrong said, Fine, fine. So what happened next? Master Yidong continued. So one taught, the other learned. Zhou Botong, still full of youthful energy, and Consort Liu, in her prime, they practiced closely. Over time, affection grew. Eventually, things got out of hand. Hongrong's lips moved to ask something, but she held back. Master Yidong went on. Someone came to report to me. Though I was angry for the sake of Master Wang Chongyang's reputation, I pretended not to know. But later, Master Wang somehow found out. Likely because Brother Zhou is too honest to hide things. Hongrong couldn't resist anymore. What happened? What got so out of hand? She doesn't know. Master Yidong hesitated, then said, They weren't husband and wife, but did what only a husband and wife should. So they argued a lot? Okay, it's not bad. Hongrong exclaimed, I get it. They had a child. Master Yidong said, Not quite. They only knew each other for about 10 days, too short for that. When Master Wang found out, he tied Brother Zhou up and brought him before me for punishment. We martial artists value loyalty above all, and scorn indulgence in women. How could I let a woman come between us? I immediately freed him and called in Consort Liu, declaring them man and wife. But Brother Zhou started shouting and yelling. He said since he now knew this was wrong, he'd rather die than marry her. He absolutely refused. Oh no. At that time, Master Wang sighed. If I hadn't known he was foolish and ignorant of right and wrong, I'd have killed him with my sword already. Hongrong stuck out her tongue and laughed. That old urchin barely escaped. Master Yidong continued. That really angered me. I said, Brother Zhou, I willingly offer her to you. How could I have any other intention? As the saying goes, brothers are like limbs, wives are like clothes. A mere woman, what's the big deal? Hongrong puffed. Pah, pah, uncle, that's so unfair to women. What utter nonsense. The farmer could no longer bear it. Will you stop interrupting with your nonsense? Hongrong snapped back. He's wrong. I have to say so. In the eyes of the 4 disciples, Master Yidong was their sovereign and teacher, his every word sacred and unquestionable. Hearing Hongrong challenge him so freely, they were both shocked and furious. But Master Yidong didn't mind. He went on. Brother Zhou just shook his head. I grew even angrier and said, If you love her, why refuse her? If you don't, why did you act so? Even though Dali is a small nation, do you think you can dishonor it so easily? Brother Zhou stood silent, then suddenly knelt and knocked his head on the ground, saying, Prince Duan, it's my fault. If you want to kill me, I won't resist. I never expected him to do that, and was speechless. I said, How could I kill you? He said, Then I'll go. He pulled a brocade handkerchief from his robe and handed it to Consort Liu, saying, Here, I'm returning this. She smiled bitterly, but didn't take it. Brother Zhou let go, and the handkerchief fell at my feet. Without another word, he strode out of the palace. That was over 10 years ago, and I've heard nothing since. Master Wang apologized repeatedly, then left as well. I heard he passed away later that autumn. Master Wang was unmatched in nobility and chivalry. Hey. Okay. So we were right. He had a fling. Hongrong said, Master Wang's martial arts might have been better than yours, but as for virtue and righteousness, I don't think he surpassed you. But those 7 disciples of his were mediocre at best. What happened to the handkerchief? The 4 disciples inwardly scolded her. This girl only cared about handkerchiefs, clothes, and the like, but Master Yidong replied, Seeing Consort Liu in a daze, I was filled with anger. I picked up the handkerchief. It was embroidered with a pair of mandarin ducks playing in the water, clearly a token of affection she had given him. I gave a cold laugh, then noticed a poem embroidered beside the ducks. Hongrong's heart skipped a beat. She asked quickly, Was it 4 warping looms, mandarin ducks woven in pairs? The farmer shouted, Even we don't know that. How do you? Always interrupting with such nonsense. But Master Yidong sighed and said, Hey, yes, that's exactly the poem. So you know it too. These words startled the 4 disciples. Guojing jumped up and cried, I remember now. That day on Peach Blossom Island, Brother Joe was bitten by a poisonous snake and started muttering in a daze, repeating that same verse. Yes, that's it. 4 warping looms, mandarin ducks woven in pairs. What was next, Runger? I can't remember. Hongrong softly recited, 4 warping looms, mandarin ducks woven in pairs. Pity that youth fades before old age comes by. Spring waves and green grass in the cold of dawn. We bathe together in red robes under the sky. Beautiful. Guojing slapped his thigh and said, That's exactly right. Brother Joe once said he couldn't stand the sight of beautiful women. He'd offend friends and upset his seniors. He also said never to let one touch your acupoints, or it would bring great misfortune. Runger, he even advised me not to be with you. Hongrong huffed. That old rascal. Next time I see him, I'll twist his ears. Then she suddenly giggled and said, That day in Linan, I joked that he'd never find a wife. He got all upset and sulked for ages. Turns out, it was because of that. Guojing said, When Yinggu recited that poem, it felt so familiar, but I couldn't place it. Hey, Runger, how does she know it? Hongrong sighed. Yinggu is that same Lady Liu, the imperial concubine. Bum bum bum. Of the 4 disciples, only the scholar had guessed most of the truth. The others were astonished, and all turned to look at their master. Master Yidong said quietly, You're clever and quick-witted, just as one would expect from Brother Yao's daughter. Lady Liu's given name was Ying. The day I threw the silk handkerchief to her, I never summoned her again. After that, I was filled with gloom, paid no attention to state affairs, and spent all my time practicing martial arts to distract myself. Hongrong interjected, Uncle, you really loved her, didn't you? Don't you realize that? If not, you wouldn't have been so unhappy for so long. The 4 disciples were all annoyed at her improper remarks and said in unison, Young lady! Hongrong replied, What? Did I say something wrong? Uncle, was I wrong? Master Yidong said sadly, For half a year I didn't see Lady Liu again, but in my dreams I often met her. One night I awoke in the middle of a dream and could no longer bear it. I decided to go see her. I didn't alert any maidservants or eunuchs, and quietly went to her quarters, wanting to see what she was doing. Just as I reached the roof, I heard the cry of an infant coming from within. The rooftop was frosted over, and the wind bit cold, but I stood there stunned for half the night until dawn. That was when I fell gravely ill. Wait, so she had a kid. Oh! Jobo Tong is a father, right? So 10 days was enough time? Apparently so. Oh no. He's a dad. And he doesn't know it. Who is the kid? Imagine Jobo Tong as your dad. I don't know. Might be fun. Who's the kid? Who is the kid? Who might the kid be? Poor child. Well, he'll have an interesting childhood. Hongrong thought to herself, for a man of his imperial status to sneak onto the roof in the dead of night just to see his own concubine, that really is incredible. The four disciples, meanwhile, recalled how serious that illness had been. Despite their master's martial strength and resistance to illness, it had lingered for months. Now they understood. It wasn't physical sickness, but heartbreak and despair that had defeated even his internal strength. Plot twist, the kid is the silly girl. Uh-huh. Hongrong asked again, Lady Liu gave birth to a son. Wasn't that something to be happy about? Uncle, why were you so upset? Master Yidang said, Foolish child. That child was Brother Zhou's. Hongrong said, But he had already left. Did he sneak back to see her again? Master Yidang said, No. Haven't you heard the saying, 10 months of pregnancy? Hongrong suddenly understood. Ah, I get it. The child must have looked just like old Mischief. Big ears, upturned nose. Otherwise, how would you know he wasn't yours? Master Yidang said, Why would I need to see him? I hadn't been with Lady Liu during that time. The child, naturally, wasn't mine. Hongrong only half understood, but she knew it was no longer appropriate to press further. Master Yidang went on, That illness lasted over half a year. After I recovered, I tried my best to forget it. More than 2 years passed, and one night I was resting in my chambers when the curtain suddenly flew open. Lady Liu rushed in. The eunuchs and guards tried to stop her, but none could hold her back. She struck them aside with her palms. I looked up and saw her holding a baby in her arms, her face stricken with panic. She knelt down and cried out loudly, Your Majesty, I beg you to have mercy. Please spare the child. I stood up and saw that the child's face was flushed red, gasping heavily for breath. I picked him up and examined him. 5 ribs in his back had been broken. Lady Liu cried, Your Majesty, I deserve death 1,000 times over, but please spare the child. I found her words strange and asked, What happened to the child? She only kowtowed and begged. I asked who hurt him. Still, she didn't answer, only begged for mercy. I didn't understand. Then she said, Even if you decree my death, I have no complaints. But the child. I asked again, Who came to kill you? How was the child injured? Lady Liu looked up and said in a trembling voice, Wasn't it your order, Your Majesty, that the guards were to kill the child? I knew something strange was going on. I asked, A guard did this? Who would dare? She cried out, If it wasn't your order, then the child can still be saved. And with that, she fainted on the floor. All right. I helped her to the bed and placed the child beside her. After a while, she came to and told me what had happened. While she was patting the child to sleep, a masked guard leapt through the window, grabbed the child, and struck his back with a palm. When she rushed to intervene, the man shoved her aside and struck the child again on the chest before laughing and leaping back out the window. The assailant's martial arts were astonishing. She was certain it was someone I sent, so she didn't pursue him and came straight to beg me for mercy. Is that Ouyang Feng? I was shocked. The child's injuries were clearly inflicted by a master, but the assailant had shown mercy. Such a small child, yet he had survived 2 palm strikes. I went to her quarters to investigate and found faint footprints on the tiles and windowsill. I told Lady Liu that man had exceptional skill, especially in lightness technique. In all of Dali, only I possess such skill. Lady Liu suddenly cried out, "Could it be him? Why would he kill his own son?" At that, her face turned ashen. Nah, it's not him. Hongrong also gave a soft gasp and said, "Old mischief wouldn't be that cruel, would he?" Master Yidong said, "At the time, I thought it had to be Brother Zhou. Among the world's great masters, who else would come without reason to harm a baby? I assumed he wanted to eliminate the child and avoid shame in the martial world." Lady Liu, hearing herself say it aloud, was overwhelmed with shame, grief, and horror. Then she cried, "No, it wasn't him. That laugh, it wasn't his." I said, "You were terrified. How can you be sure?" She said, "I'll never forget that laugh. Never. It wasn't him." Who was merciless enough to hurt a baby? Yeah. Who can it be? Everyone listening felt a sudden chill down their spines. Guojing and Huangrong recalled the fierce, hate-filled look on Yinggu's face as she once spoke. Both felt a shiver of dread. Master Yidong continued, "Seeing how certain she was, I believed her, but I still couldn't figure out who the assailant was. I even considered whether it could have been one of Wang Chongyang's disciples, Ma Yu, Qiu Chuqi, or Wang Chuyi, sent to cover up the scandal and protect the reputation of the Tianjin sect." Guojing moved his lips, wanting to speak, but hesitant to interrupt. Master Yidong saw this and said, "If you wish to say something, speak freely." Guojing said, "Taoist Ma and Taoist Chu are heroic and righteous men. They never do such a thing." Master Yidong said, "I've met Wang Chuyi on Mount Hua. He seemed like a good man. As for the others, who can say? But if it were one of them, they could have killed the baby with a single light palm. Why only injure him?" He looked up at the window, his face blank with confusion. The mystery that had haunted him for over a decade remained unresolved. The meditation hall was silent for a long moment before Master Yidong said, "Very well, let me go on." Wait, so it's a mystery that had haunted him for over a decade. Well, okay, to me, it's pretty obvious that it was Ouyang Feng. No? Because Ouyang Feng wanted, oh, wait. Hold on. Because I was gonna say Ouyang Feng wanted Master Yidong to cure the baby, so that he would have like 5 years of no martial arts. But then he had just learned. No. Yeah, he had just learned the techniques from Wang Chongyang, right? So how do we know that curing someone would make him lose his martial arts? Maybe we didn't know at the time. And if we didn't know at the time, then it might be for another reason. But then I can't. Who would hurt the baby? Unless there was someone who was in love with Lady Liu. No, then that person would just want to kill they would just kill the baby, right? Okay. So I'm pretty sure it's Ouyang Feng. Someone knew at the time? Yeah, I guess someone knew. Ouyang Feng somehow found out. Master Yudong isn't a genius like me. Look at Because he told the other story about his disciple getting hurt. And that was a ruse to get him to cure his disciple. So, like, I feel like he would make the same connection here. But I guess not. A man living in the world to be so humiliated. What use is it to be a king of a nation? When I thought this, rage surged within me. I lifted my foot and shattered an ivory round stool in front of me with a kick. Then I looked up and was stunned. I said, Your hair, what happened? How did Oh Young Feng know about the baby? I'm guessing he's Oh Young Feng. I'm guessing he has ways to find out. Like, who would just injure a baby? I feel like the only reason would be for Yi Deng to heal it, no? But who knows? Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe not. Maybe there's another reason. There must be another reason, right? Why is he... Because he would have thought about that. Anyways, we'll say. She didn't seem to hear me. I just kept gazing at the child. Until then, I had never realized that a person's eyes could hold so much love, so much tenderness. She already knew I was determined not to save the child, and while he was still alive, she just wanted to look at him a little longer. I picked up a mirror and placed it before her. I said, Look at your hair. In those few short hours, she had aged decades. Damn. She was only 18 at the time, but in just that span, due to fear, worry, regret, despair, and heartbreak, gray hair had already appeared at her temples. Damn. How does that work? How does that work? Your hair can't just turn gray, right? It'll grow, it can grow out gray. Like the hair that you already have, it wouldn't turn gray right away, right? I feel. I think she dyed it. She paid no attention to her appearance at all. She simply complained that the mirror was blocking her view of the child. She said, Take the mirror away. She said it directly, forgetting I was the emperor, her sovereign. I found it strange. She had always been proud of her looks. Why didn't she care now? I tossed the mirror aside. She continued to gaze unblinkingly at the child. I had never seen someone long for something so deeply. She was praying that the child would live. I could see that she wished she could give him her own life to replace what was being lost, moment by moment. At this point, Guojing and Hongrong looked at each other and thought, When I was gravely injured and thought I wouldn't survive, you looked at me the same way. Without realizing it, they reached out and held each other's hands. Their hearts beat warmly, and even while hearing a tale of grief and sorrow, they couldn't help but feel happiness, for the one they loved was by their side, and the danger had passed. Yes, they thought, we won't die, not now, not ever. In the hearts of these two young people, each was eternal to the other. Okay. Huang Yashi isn't exactly sane, and he partially blames Zhou Botong for his wife dying. And Yinggu seems to hate him. Maybe it's not just for kidnapping Zhou Botong. But then wouldn't Huang Yaoshi just kill the baby? Why just injure it? Sup, Christina? How's it going? Master Yidong continued. I really couldn't bear it. I wanted to save the child, but that handkerchief was wrapped snugly around his chest. On it were embroidered a pair of mandarin ducks, lovingly nestled together. Their heads were white, meant to represent growing old together. But then I remembered the words, "Pity not yet old, but hair already white." I turned and saw the gray at her temples, and a cold sweat broke out on me. He is kind of cruel. Is that why? My heart hardened again. I said, "Fine. You two want to grow old together and leave me cold and alone in the palace. This is your child, not mine. Why should I expend my energy to save him?" She looked at me. That was the last time. Her eyes were full of resentment and hatred. She never looked at me again, but that look I will never forget until the day I die. Coldly, she said, "Let me go. I want to hold my child." Her voice was sharp, like she was the sovereign, and I her servant. I couldn't refuse her. So I unsealed her acupoints. She took the child into her arms. He must have been in unbearable pain, wanting to cry, but unable to make a sound. His little face was purple with strain, his eyes pleading with his mother for help. All right. 5-minute break. All right. Cold and alone. How many concubines did he have? He had a bunch, but he only wanted one. Okay. That was his one special consort. All right. I'll be right back. 5 minutes. All right. And we're back. Let's continue the story. But my heart had hardened. I felt no compassion. I saw her hair turning gray strand by strand. I didn't know if it was real or just my imagination. Then I heard her softly say, "My dear child, your mother has no way to save you, but I can make sure you no longer suffer. Sleep now, sleep, my baby. You'll never wake again." She started to hum a lullaby to soothe him. Her voice was so gentle, so beautiful. Yes, just like that. Just like that. Can you hear it? As he spoke, no one could actually hear any humming. The others looked at each other in alarm. The scholar said, "Master, you've spoken long enough. Please rest for a while." But Master Yidong seemed not to hear him, and went on. The child smiled faintly, but then was seized with pain and trembled all over. She whispered again, "My precious darling, when you fall asleep, the pain will stop. It won't hurt any more." Suddenly, thud! She stabbed the child in the heart with a dagger. Oh, damn. Hongrong gave a cry and clutched Guo Jing's arm. The others turned pale. I guess we need some bells for the baby. Master Yidong, unaffected, continued. I cried out and stumbled back a few steps, nearly falling over. My mind was in a daze. I watched her slowly rise to her feet and say in a low voice, "One day I'll drive this dagger into your heart too." Ah, that's why. She wants to kill him. She pointed at the jade bracelet on her wrist and said, "This was your gift to me the day I entered the palace. You wait. One day I'll return it to you, and this dagger will come with it." Oh, she's coming. She's coming. As he spoke, Master Yidong twisted the jade bracelet on his finger, smiled faintly, and said, "This is the bracelet. I've waited more than 10 years, and now she's finally sent it back." Hongrong said, Uncle, she killed her own child. What does that have to do with you? You didn't injure the boy, and besides, she poisoned you. Even if there were grudges back then, one act cancels another. I'll go down the mountain and drive her off. She mustn't be allowed to disturb you again. Before she could finish, the young monk rushed in and said, Master, something else has just been delivered from the mountain base. He held out a small cloth bundle. Master Yidong took it and unwrapped it. All 6 onlookers gasped. Inside was the baby's bib, made from the handkerchief. The silk had yellowed with age, but the embroidered mandarin ducks remained vibrant. Between the 2 birds was a knife hole, next to which was a dark, dried blood stain. Master Yidong stared at the bib, speechless for a long time. Then he said softly, Mandarin ducks woven, desiring to fly as one. Alas, desiring to fly together ends as nothing but a dream. She held the child's corpse, laughed wildly, leapt out the window, and vanished over the rooftops. I neither ate nor drank, brooded for 3 days and nights, and finally came to a great awakening. I passed the throne to my eldest son and became a monk. He pointed to his 4 disciples. They had followed me for years and wouldn't leave. We all moved to Tianlong Temple outside Dali. For the first 3 years, the 4 of them took turns assisting my son in court. Once he had mastered governance and the nation was at peace, we left again. Then came the incident on the Great Snow Mountain, Ouyang Feng injuring people while we gathered herbs. We moved here and never returned to Dali. Maybe it wasn't Ouyang Feng? Who else could it be? Who else? Who would do that? Why would you do that to a baby? My heart had hardened. I refused to save that child, and for the next 10 years, I couldn't find peace. I hoped to save many lives to atone for that great sin. My disciples never knew the real reason and often tried to stop me. But alas, even if I saved 1,000, 10,000 lives, that one child is still dead. Unless I gave him my own life in return, how could the debt ever be repaid? I waited every day for news of Yinggu, for the moment she would come and stab her dagger into my chest. I feared only that I'd die before she arrived, and the karma would go unresolved. Well, today she's finally come. She didn't need to mix poison into the 9-flowered jade dew pills. Had I known she was coming right after poisoning me, I would have held on through those few hours. My junior brother wouldn't have needed to waste his effort curing me. Hong Rong exclaimed angrily, That woman is vicious to the core. She found out where you were long ago, but feared her skills weren't enough. She schemed for years, and it just so happened I was injured by Qiu Qianrun, so she led me here to seek your help. 2 birds with 1 stone, make you expend your strength to heal me, then take the opportunity to poison you. I never imagined I'd become a tool for such a wicked woman. Uncle, how did that painting from Ouyang Feng end up in her hands? And what was its purpose? Master Yidong took the Mahayana Sutra of Great Adornment from the small table, turned to a page and read aloud. The story in the painting comes from Jiao City in India. Once there was a king named Sibi who devoted himself to asceticism and sought perfect enlightenment. One day a great hawk chased a dove. The dove flew into Sibi's robes, trembling. The hawk begged the king to return its prey, saying, If the king saves the dove, the hawk will starve. The king thought, saving one while dooming another is unjust. So he took a knife and cut flesh from his thigh to feed the hawk. The hawk said, The flesh must weigh the same as the dove. The king fetched a scale, placing the dove and the flesh on the opposite sides. But no matter how much flesh he cut, thigh, chest, arms, ribs, it still wasn't enough. At last he placed his whole body on the scale. Then the earth shook. Heavenly music played, flowers rained from the sky. Gods and spirits praised him. What extraordinary courage! Though it was a myth, Master Yidong spoke with such compassion and solemnity that all present were moved. It's one heavy dove. Yeah, it's gigantic. Huang Rong said, Uncle, she feared you wouldn't agree to treat me, so she sent this painting to sway your heart. Master Yidong smiled and said, Exactly. When she left Dali that year, she must have been filled with resentment. She surely roamed the martial world, seeking masters, determined to learn martial arts to avenge herself. That's how she came across Ouyang Feng. Once he learned of her intentions, I imagine he helped her devise this scheme and painted this picture for her. This sutra is widely known in the western regions, and since Ouyang Feng is from there, he would surely be familiar with the story. Huh. Does this imply that Ouyang Feng had just met her that time then? He didn't know about her before? Maybe it wasn't Ouyang Feng. But then again, who could it be and why would they do that? Yeah, I'm starting to think it's not Ouyang Feng. It's someone else. For another reason? I don't know. Huang Rong said bitterly, That old poison used Yinggu, and then she used me. This was a chain of vicious schemes, killing someone with another person's knife. Master Yidong sighed. Hey, there's no need for you to be upset. Even if she hadn't met you, she would have just injured someone else and sent them to seek my help. But without a skilled martial artist to accompany them, they wouldn't have made it up the mountain so easily. Ouyang Feng must have drawn that painting a long time ago. This plan has likely been laid out for at least 10 years. The fact that no opportunity arose until now, well, that was simply fate. Huang Rong said, Uncle, I've figured it out. I've figured it out. There's another desire in her heart, even more important than harming you. Master Yidong said, Oh? What is it? Huang Rong said, Old Imp is being held prisoner on Peach Blossom Island by my father. She wants to rescue him. Yeah, Huang Rong. Good job. We're totally right, gang. Fist bump. She then told the story of how Yinggu had devoted herself to learning divination and formations, then added, But later she realized that even after 100 years of study, she'd never match my father. When she saw me seriously injured, she took the opportunity and... Master Yidong laughed aloud and stood up. Ha 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 ha! Well, everything has come together. Today her long-cherished wish can finally be fulfilled. His expression turned serious as he looked to his 4 disciples. Go and retrieve Consort Yinggu, up the mountain. Not a single disrespectful word is allowed. The 4 disciples all fell to the floor, crying, Master! Master Yidong sighed. Hey, you followed me all these years. Do you still not understand your master's heart? Maybe an assassin sent by the jinn because they thought the baby was his, but if they wanted to get rid of any heirs, they didn't do well. Um, would the Jinn care about Dali? Yeah, also that assassin was a very bad one. Maybe he changed his mind. Maybe he's like, oh, maybe I don't like killing babies. Because like, why would you? He did a palm strike on both sides of the baby. If you wanted to kill a baby, you only need to do a palm strike on like once, right? Yeah. Why did he have to do 2 palm strikes? Kind of weird. The Dwan family has thousands of heirs, probably. True. Yeah, something weird was going on there. Anything you could do to a baby with 2 palm strikes, you could do with 1 palm strike. Why did he have to do 2? A little weird there. And maybe the guy did change his mind. I mean, it's not easy killing a baby, you know? Maybe the baby actually killed the assassin? Oh, true. Maybe his purpose was just to maim the baby, so he couldn't learn martial arts or something? Don't know. He turned to Guojing and Hongrong. I have a favor to ask of you two. They said together, Please instruct us. We will obey without question. Yidang said, Good. I want you to go down the mountain now. I have wronged Yingu deeply in this life. If in the future she is in danger or faces any difficulty, I hope you'll help her out of respect for me. And if you can bring her and Brother Joe together, I will be endlessly grateful. Good luck. Guojing and Hongrong exchanged a stunned glance and didn't dare agree right away. Seeing their silence, Yidang asked again, Is this humble monk's request too difficult for you to fulfill? After a brief hesitation, Hongrong said, Since Uncle puts it that way, we will obey. She tugged on Guojing's sleeve and bowed to take their leave. Yidang asked, There's no need to meet her. Go down back of the mountain. No. Hongrong nodded again, took Guojing's hand, and the two turned to leave. They're not leaving, right? They're sneaking in the back to watch. The 4 disciples saw she was entirely composed and calm, not showing the least sorrow. They cursed her silently for being cold-hearted. How could she walk away so casually, while their master, who had just saved her life, was in grave danger? But Guojing knew that Hongrong would never simply abandon someone. She must have a plan. He followed her out the door. At the entrance, Hongrong leaned over and whispered a few words in his ear. Guojing paused, then nodded and slowly turned back. Yidang said, You are kind and upright. You will achieve great things one day. I entrust Yingu's matter to you. Guojing said, Yes, I will do all I can to help. Maybe Iron Palm was hired, but they found the wrong brother. Oh, you think so? That'd be pretty funny. He couldn't kill a baby? Suddenly, he spun around, grabbed the Indian monk beside Yidang by the wrist, and swiftly pressed his fingers to seal the Huagai and Tianju acupoints. These controlled the hands and feet. Once sealed, the limbs couldn't move. This move caught everyone by surprise. Yidang and his 4 disciples were all shocked. What are you doing? They cried. Guojing didn't answer. He reached out to seize Yidang's shoulder. Yidong flipped his right palm faster than lightning and grabbed Guojing's wrist. Guojing was startled. He had thought Yidong was completely within his grasp, yet the master could still counter and strike at a vital point. His skill was truly profound, but the moment their wrists touched, Guojing felt how weak Yidong's inner strength had become. His grip was unsteady and feeble. Guojing reversed his hold, twisted, and pinned down the master's wrist tendon. He then used Divine Dragon Swing's tail with his right palm to fend off the approaching fisherman and woodcutter, and with his left forefinger, he sealed Yidong's Feng Wei and Jing Tu acupoints under the ribs. "Forgive me, uncle," he said. By this time, Hongrong had begun using the dog-beating staff technique, forcing the farmer out of the meditation room. The scholar was caught off guard by this sudden turn of events and called out, "Let's talk! There's no need to fight!" The farmer, seeing his master subdued, charged like a mad tiger, desperate to break into the meditation room. But Hongrong's dog-beating staff was exquisite. He tried to rush in 3 times, and each time was driven back to his original position. Guojing created a powerful vortex with his twin palms, forcing the fisherman, woodcutter, and scholar out of the room. Hongrong then struck out with a sudden move aimed at the farmer's brow. The staff was lightning fast. The farmer cried out and leaped backward several feet. Hongrong called, "Excellent!" and slammed the door shut behind her. Smiling, she said, "Everyone, please hold. Let's talk." The woodcutter and fisherman had each been struck by Guojing's palm, their arms numb, feet unsteady. Seeing another strike coming, they prepared to defend together. But when they heard Hongrong speak, Guojing halted his attack mid-strike and bowed. "Apologies," he said. The 4 disciples looked at each other in astonishment. Hongrong, now solemn, said, "We owe your master a great debt of gratitude. Seeing him in danger, how could we just stand by? Our offense just now was only to save him." The scholar stepped forward and bowed deeply. "Our master's enemy is our mistress. There's a clear distinction between high and low. When she comes, how can we dare raise a hand against her? Besides, our master has grieved for the death of that little prince for more than 10 years. Even if he weren't poisoned and his powers weren't depleted, he would still receive a stab from her without resistance. We are helpless. If you, lady, with your matchless intelligence, can offer a solution, we would be eternally grateful, even unto death." Hongrong saw the sincerity in his words and dropped her playful tone. "My senior brother and I are just as grateful to your master as you are. We will do all we can. If we can keep Yinggu from stepping into this meditation room, that would be best. But she has waited 10 years in the black marsh below. She won't be easily stopped. She must have come well prepared. I do have a risky plan that, if it works, could end this once and for all, and with no more trouble. But it's dangerous. Yinggu is sharp and powerful. The plan might fail. I'm not clever enough to think of a foolproof strategy." The 4 men said together, "Please, tell us." Hongrong raised her elegant brows and shared the plan. The 4 of them listened, stunned, unable to respond for a long time. Ooh, what is the plan? At dusk, the sun slowly set behind the mountain. A crisp breeze stirred the palm trees in front of the meditation courtyard, and the dry lotus leaves rustled in the pond. The last rays of sunlight cast shadows on the peaks, making the silhouette of the mountain look like a giant monster lying down. The 4 disciples sat cross-legged at the far end of the stone bridge, eyes wide, staring ahead. Each felt uneasy. As the sky darkened and crows cawed into the valley below, a white mist began to rise, but no one appeared around the bend on the far side of the stone bridge. The fisherman thought, "I hope she's changed her mind and realized none of this was Master's fault, that she'll stop before it's too late." The woodcutter thought, She's clever and devious. She must be plotting something. The farmer was most anxious. If only she'd come already. Good or bad, at least we'd know. But she delays and delays. It's maddening. The scholar, once a seasoned prime minister of Dali, had seen countless battles, yet even he now felt unsettled. He remembered a childhood tale. When owls hoot in the dark, they're secretly counting people's eyebrows. Whoever's count is complete won't live to see the morning. He knew it was just a tale for scaring kids, but in the darkness, with owls crying in the distance, a chill crept over him. Could it really be fate that Master will die at this woman's hands? Sup, AJ Shiro? How's it going? Just then, the woodcutter trembled and whispered, She's coming. They looked up to see a black shadow flying across the bridge. At the broken section, she leapt effortlessly across. It was as if gravity didn't touch her. The four men were even more shaken. Back when she studied under Master, we had already inherited much of his skill. How did her martial arts become even stronger than ours? Where did she learn such power in these 10 years? The shadow drew closer. They stood and formed two lines. Soon she reached them, dressed all in black, her face just visible in the fading light. It was none other than the once beloved consort Liu of Emperor Duan. The four of them knelt and kowtowed, saying, We pay our respects, Your Grace. Your Grace. Yinggu let out a cold snort and swept a sharp glance across the four men's faces. What consort this and consort that? Liu Guifei died long ago. I am Yinggu, Grand Chancellor, Grand General, Commander of the Navy, Commander of the Imperial Guards, all gathered here. I thought the Emperor had truly seen through the vanity of the world and shaved his head to become a monk. Turns out he's just hiding in this deep mountain, still living as a peaceful and carefree emperor. Her words dripped with resentment and venom, making the four disciples tremble inside. The scholar said, The emperor is no longer the man he once was. When your ladyship sees him, you may not even recognize him. Yinggu sneered. You keep calling me your ladyship as if it were some joke. Kneeling there like statues. What, trying to pay respects until I die? The four looked at each other, rose to their feet, and said, We pay our respects to you. Yinggu waved her hand. So the emperor sent you to block my path, but still plays these hollow courtesies? If you're going to fight, then fight. Your master was a king. You are his ministers. You've harmed countless common folk, and now you want to play innocent in front of a woman like me? The scholar said, Our emperor loved his people as his own children. He was kind and benevolent. The citizens of Dali still sing his praises to this day. He has never once harmed the innocent. Even when someone committed grave crimes, he often showed mercy beyond the law. Surely your ladyship is aware of this. Yingu's face turned red, and she barked, You dare speak back to me? She just said she didn't want any courtesies. The scholar replied, Your humble servant wouldn't dare. Yinggu said, You call yourself a servant. Do you really think there's still a ruler and subject between us? I want to see Duanji Xing. Are you letting me through or not? Duanji Xing was the secular name of Master Yi Deng. Though the four knew this, they had never dared to say it aloud. Hearing Yinggu address him so bluntly, they couldn't help but feel a chill. The farmer, who had once served as commander of the Imperial Guards during Duan's reign, could bear it no longer. He bellowed, Once a sovereign, always to be respected. How can you speak so insolently? Yinggu burst into loud laughter and charged forward. The 4 disciples raised their arms to block her path, thinking, "Her martial arts may be powerful, but with the 4 of us working together, we can still stop her. Even if we defy Master's orders today, this is an emergency. We have no choice." But Yingu didn't strike or shove. She simply glided forward with her lightness skill. The woodcutter moved to intercept her, extending a hand to grab her shoulder. His strike was quick and forceful, but as his palm made contact, it felt like touching something slick and oily. He couldn't get a grip. She oiled herself? Just then, the farmer and fisherman both roared and attacked from either side. Yingu ducked low, slipping like a water snake beneath the fisherman's arm. The fisherman smelled a faint fragrance, like orchid, like musk, and panicked, afraid of touching her. He instinctively flung his arms wide. The farmer shouted, "What's wrong with you?" and clawed both hands towards her waist like iron hooks. The woodcutter cried, "Don't be rude!" But the farmer paid no heed. His 10 fingers already brushed her waist, yet somehow they slid off as if she were coated in grease. Using the slippery mud loach technique she had developed from years in the black swamp, Yingu had easily passed through 3 of them. Reversing her palm, she struck fiercely at the farmer. The scholar reached around to counter, pointing at her wrist acupoint, but Yingu extended a finger faster than lightning. Her fingertip and his met in midair. The scholar had gathered all his inner strength into his right finger. At the sudden jolt, his body trembled, as if shocked by lightning, and he cried out, tumbling to the ground. The woodcutter and fisherman rushed to help him. The farmer, meanwhile, launched a hammer-like left punch at Yingu. The fist carried a howling wind. Yingu didn't dodge. The farmer panicked. This blow would surely smash her skull, so he quickly tried to pull back, but the punch already brushed her nose. She tilted her head, letting the punch graze her cheek. As he pulled back, his wrist was caught. He tried to jerk free, but crack! His elbow was dislocated by a counterpunch before he even felt the pain. Gritting his teeth, he ignored it and thrust his right finger at her arm's crook. The 4 disciples had learned their point sealing skills from Master Yidong himself. Though not equal to his Yiyang finger, they were first class in the martial world. But against Yingu, they met their nemesis. Knowing Master Yidong's finger techniques were fearsome, she had trained for years to counter them. A master at embroidery, she had come up with a clever trick. She wore a tiny golden ring tipped with a thin, poisoned needle on her right index finger. After years of practice, she could now use it with deadly precision, even piercing a fly in midair. Just now, she had used it on the scholar. Now, seeing the farmer's finger thrust forward, she curled her finger slightly and aligned the needle with his fingertip. The farmer, in his desperation, drove his own finger straight into the needle. As the saying goes, the 10 fingers are connected to the heart. The needle pierced his Shangyang point, and the farmer cried out like a tiger, collapsing to the ground. Yingu sneered, "A fine chief of the Imperial Guards," and rushed toward the Chan monastery. The fisherman cried, "My lady, please wait." Yingu turned coldly. "What, want to die too?" "The farmer died?" "No." Did he? I feel like he did. She had reached the edge of the lotus pond. Between it and the monastery stood only a small stone bridge. Her gaze was piercing even in the dark. The fisherman, facing her, felt as if frozen by her stare. He dared not move. Okay. I think he died, so... Poor farmer guy. Alright. Unfortunately, let me go another page, okay? Yingu said coldly, "The Grand Chancellor and Commander are both poisoned. No one in the world can save them. You want to follow them?" Without waiting for a reply, she turned and walked slowly toward the bridge, not even glancing back to see if he would attack. The bridge was only 20 steps long. As she reached the end, a figure stepped out of the shadows and cupped his hands. Greetings, senior. Yingu was startled. This person appeared without a sound. If he meant to harm me, I'd already be dead or crippled. She looked closely and saw a tall, broad-shouldered young man with thick brows and large eyes, none other than Guo Jing, the one she had sent up the mountain. So, the little girl's injury has healed? She asked. Guo Jing bowed. Thanks to your guidance, my martial sister's wound was healed by Master Yi Deng. Yingu snorted. Why didn't she come thank me herself? She said, walking forward without a pause. Guo Jing stood at the head of the bridge. Seeing her come straight at him, he said, Senior, please, turn back. Yingu ignored him, twisting her body to slip past with her mud loach technique. Guo Jing hadn't expected her to just slide past. In panic, he twisted and swung back, using the empty clarity fist that Zhou Bo Tong had taught him. Yingu, already beside him, was forced back by the sudden, gentle yet firm fist wind, but she refused to retreat and charged forward. Watch out! Guo Jing cried. A soft figure crashed into his arms, and before he could react, Yingu hooked his leg and sent them both falling into the lotus pond. While still in midair, Yingu reached under his right arm, grabbed his left shoulder, and locked her fingers toward his throat. This was the front seal breath of small joint locking. Once applied, the windpipe would be sealed and breathing ceased. Guo Jing twisted his right arm behind him to counter, clamping toward her neck. Another breath-sealing move called rear neck clamp. Yingu knew his strength outmatched her, so she released his shoulder and struck instead. Yingu blocked with his left arm. In the split second it took to fall into the pond, the two had already exchanged 3 lightning-fast moves. Her skills were deep, but Guo Jing's strength and precision held up. Neither gained the upper hand. Splash! They both plunged into the water. All right. How did you guys like that chapter? Yingu's pretty powerful, huh? How about that one mud technique? It was pretty cool. Psst. Guo Jing would be safe from her poison ring, right? Maybe. I don't think he'll be poisoned. Guo Jing has a new girlfriend. Oh no. Hong Rong would be so jealous. The disciples are not that good, are they? They got defeated right away, immediately. Not good. Like, they're not very good guardians. They let Guo Jing and Hong Rong get up the mountain, and now they can't even defeat Yingu. Ah, not cool. And the farmer died. What the hell? She must be nerfed. Yeah. Alright, well, we found out this chapter that our theory is right. Zhou Bo Tong did have a thing with someone, or with this lady here. And she was training to get him back from the Peach Blossom Island. Her love is true. His love is not. The 4 dudes were hyped up. They seemed pretty strong. They can't even beat this one lady. Alright, guys. Yidong purposely didn't teach them good martial arts because he's suicidal and doesn't want to be protected in the first place. Oh. I feel like that's a bad master. Isn't it? Ugh. Okay, hold on. Cheers. Well, to be fair, they chose him. Still. Like your master teaching you bad, like not teaching you enough martial arts also hurts you, right? Like you're out in the martial world, you're gonna get your ass kicked. All right, well, we stopped at an exciting moment. Okay. I can't wait to see what happens next. What will happen when Yingu meets the Southern Emperor? Oh, it's gonna be good. He's probably gonna die, right? He has to die. Oh well. They should have read his reviews on Rate My Professor. True. Yeah. If that were my master, I'd be pretty disappointed, wouldn't I? I think I would. I would choose a different master. You feel sorry for that Indian dude who's just minding his own business? Yeah, what's up with him? Are we gonna, like, he hasn't talked, right? Or barely? I want to see what his story is. All right. Anyways, well, thanks for joining, guys. Yeah, I'm excited to see what happens next. Yeah, and I'm glad you're joining me. You think it's just a guy? A rare, just a guy character? He's just there for no reason. Anyways, all right. Thanks for coming. I love you. I will see you next time. Bye.